Hi guys, thank you very much for watching this video, and sorry that I haven't done any videos for so long. I just got out of the habit and I found it really difficult to get back into it, even though I really enjoy doing these. So this video is a video that I've been looking forward to doing for quite some time. It's a what's in my camera bag. Now, I've seen loads of these videos from some of the other creators who have got, you know, huge amounts of kit, much more than I have. I'm definitely entry level when it comes to this, but I've assembled a decent amount of kit that I use to do my YouTube videos, and this video is going to show you what it is, why I bought it, and there'll be links in the description. If you want to go out and do the same, then you can buy from those links. So let's get straight into it. The microphone in the bag is the RODE VideoMicro, a entry-level microphone that can fit, as you can see, on top of the camera. It's perfect for on-the-move vlogging, which admittedly I don't do much of. You'll have seen some stuff of me kind of walking around the house, and that's when I'll use this. Let's actually see how good it is. I'm currently using this, which is a Thronmax microphone, which can either sit on the desk or can be mounted to a boom, which would normally be just out of shot. So I'm currently using that, and now I've switched to the audio through the RODE VideoMic. It's mounted about 2 meters away, so we would normally be a fair bit closer. But do we notice any discernible difference in audio quality? Next up, memory card. This is a 64 gigabit SANS disk, which will record for about 1 hour and 20 minutes at 4K. So good to have at least one extra of these in your camera bag. Next up, batteries. Always make sure you've got at least one extra battery. Some sources suggest they last for about 130 minutes, but I would say if you're going to do anything that's going to last over an hour, make sure you've got a second battery. I picked up 2 spare batteries with a really good charger that's got a visual display that shows how charged the battery is from Amazon for $19.99, link below. Next in the bag is a filter kit. So these have got 3 filters. This came when I bought a lens, which I'll show you in a little while. The idea behind these is that essentially you can, if filming in different light conditions outside or inside, you can change the coloration and the saturation using filters. I've never used them, but at some point I will. A lot of people will have a multitude of filters that can do different things for their video and photography. Next up, the Joby Gorillapod. Always make sure when you buy something on Amazon that you measure it properly. I had visions of this being a little bit larger than the one that I ended up purchasing. It's quite useful. Phone goes in there. It's got an extendable, expandable head, so you can get different phones in there. And actually you can use this, I use it quite a lot to watch stuff on my phone, so I'll just pop it in there and pop it down. So quite useful, but was expecting something slightly bigger. So this is the Photopro Christmas present from my daughter, much more useful. Can also fit a camera on top, so you can just essentially attach either a camera or it comes with an iPhone attachment, so really quite good. And you can use it to kind of secure your camera in all sorts of different and strange positions, you know, if you wanted to kind of do something like that, etc. It's a really good, a really good product actually, and the legs seem fairly firm, and through a lot of usage it hasn't really kind of weakened or anything, so it's a really decent product. Lenses. Now this is the 15 to 45 kit lens that came with the camera. So for those of you that don't know much about lenses, the lower that number, the wider the angle. So the 15mm setting on this camera does mean that you can get a fairly wide angle, which is good for real estate shots. I'm now going to use this lens and demonstrate both at 15 and 45. So as you can see, when this lens is set to 15mm, you actually get huge amounts of space. I'm a long way away. The f-stop on this, which is essentially the kind of the way that you separate the subject with the background, when you see those blurry backgrounds, I'll demonstrate that on the 50mm lens. You don't really get a particularly good f-stop on the average kit lens, but as you can see, we get a lot of shot in. I'm now going to turn the lens up to 45mm. So as you can see, a lot closer to the camera. This is quite a good setting for the talking head stuff, except as I explained earlier, the f-stop means that you can't really do much blurring with the background. The reason for that is it kind of focuses the eye on the presenter rather than things going on in the background. Next up in the lens category is the 50mm Canon lens, complete with an adapter that is required in order to fit it onto the M50. Link in the description for this, but this device here essentially opens up a plethora of other lenses that you can attach to the Canon M50. So the 50mm lens is the lens that most people recommend that you'd do for talking head stuff like this. I'm currently shooting this on the kit lens at 45mm, but the previous parts of this video will all be shot with this lens. Now what's really good about this lens is that you can get the f-stop all the way down to 1.8, which means you can get a really nice blurry background. You'll notice in this shot that actually the background is quite crisp and in focus, which might look good for some, but as I said earlier, when it's blurry, it means that the eye is naturally focused on the speaker, and therefore it tends to be that your audience will engage with you more. A really decent lens. The link is in the description. So this is the 50mm lens reattached to the Canon M50, and as you can see, crisply in focus, and there should be a little bit of blur on the background. The f-stop is set to 1.8. I'm now going to bring the f-stop all the way up, and you can see the difference between 1.8 and I don't know what it is at the end, but I'll show you. So this is the f-stop set at 22. I've had to tweak the ISO a little bit in order to try and give me some more light, but you should see that the background, when the f-stop is at 22, there is no blurring whatsoever. For pieces to camera, talking heads like this, it's really nice, as I say, to have a nice blur in the background. So we'd always be setting this lens at the lowest f-stop that we could in order to achieve that. Next up, the Canon M50. As you can see, it's a really compact camera. And having done a fair amount of research into entry-level cameras, this really came out on top. I think there was a Sony camera that competes at a similar price point. This was slightly cheaper, and given that the majority of my usage is essentially pieces to camera like this, this one felt like the best option for me. Not really too much to say about it. There'll be a link in the description down below. You've got obviously the battery case, the SD card slot. One of the really cool things about this is the flip out screen. So if, for example, when you're doing pieces to camera, you need to be able to see yourself. So you'll flick the screen round and then you'll point the camera like that, and you can actually see what the camera is seeing, which is super important when you're working alone. Obviously, in terms of framing and all those sorts of things, if you can't see the screen, it makes those things quite hard. If you're doing things at lower angles, you can also flip the screen up like that, which is really cool. Yeah, it's, as I said, it's entry level, but it is a really good camera. It's got lots of settings for photography as well. Don't really use much of those, but as a vlogging camera, highly recommended. So the final thing I want to show you, and it wasn't in the camera bag, but it's the tripod. So let me take the camera off here. So the tripod is the Geekoto tripod, three standard, I was going to say 3 legs. I think that's probably what tripod, or at least what tri means. So yeah, 3 legs All of them are very adjustable in 3 positions, so you can go quite high with the tripod. This centerpiece here is also extendable and actually can be removed. One of the legs also comes off, so you can actually use it as a monopod. The top of this tripod has got obviously where you mount it. It's also got some quite decent control around things like moving the angle of the plate and all those sorts of things. So really decent tripod. And actually, while I'm on the camera, may as well show you the lights that we use. So I've got 2 lights like this. Links will be in the description below. They're okay, but they're not great. Here's another one of those lights. As you can see, I've got some gels that I purchased, lots of different colours, just to try and sometimes do something interesting with the rear of the set. The light stands came in the kit, so I basically got 2 lights and 2 light stands in the same kit. Guys, I hope that was useful. Any comments, if you've got any questions, let me know, and look forward to seeing you again in the next video.